So I've seen a lot of these videos on how to sharpen these oscillating tool blades. They get dull pretty fast and they kind of become useless after a while. This one's not too bad, but some of them get really bad, like down to nothing. So I looked up a couple videos and was trying to see what the best way to do it was, and everybody started going with a file, a little triangle file. Well, the problem with that is these fine blades are really hard steel. I could see that probably would work with like the Harbor Freight blades or some cheap blades, but the file just skates over the top of it. It does absolutely nothing. So I figured I would try to do Dremel with a tiny little skinny cutoff wheel. And that actually has been working, but it takes practice. You can see that one's just kind of all over the place. So you could probably make a jig or something for it, but all I'm going to use these for are drywall and soft wood and stuff, so it doesn't really matter that much to me. If I need to cut through metal, I'll just buy a new one. So let me show you kind of how I do this. I just got it clamped in here on a bench dog, and we will start cutting some of these. All right, so I try and make like a little line on here. Just know where to stop on each one of these. White pencil would probably be better. You got this teeny tiny little cutoff wheel. It's real skinny with the Dremel. And try and just basically cut some more teeth in it. Try and follow the lines. The teeth that are, if you try to follow the teeth that are already there, gives you pretty good spacing. And then I was like rocking it back and forth to try and like put a tip on it, but then I noticed in my testing that on wood it really didn't make that much of a difference whether you made a tip on it or not. It's more just getting the grooves in there. I don't know. Experiment around with it. But and yes, I am wearing gloves and goggles because these things are wicked when they come apart. Pierce into anything. All right, so let's give it a try. Hard to see. This one is pretty messed up to begin with. Like I said, definitely not perfect, but it will definitely cut through drywall and wood, no problem. It's pretty ugly, but it'll work for what I need it to work for. Yeah, like I said, I tried the file thing and it just didn't do anything. It didn't even make a scratch. I think it's just because these fine blades are so hard Like I said, if you used a Harbor Freight one, probably no problem. You could probably use a chisel on that easily. But this works for what I need to do. Let me know if it works for you guys, or if you come up with something else that makes it better or easier or even sharper. Get those little, maybe get a tip on there. I don't know. Let me know. With some practice and maybe even some type of jig or something. But it works pretty good. And then there's something else I saw that you could do with your blades that are for scraping, how to sharpen them. I might show you that too. Even if you get a old one that's so worn down that you can't use it, you can use it as a scraper blade. But to sharpen it, you can use one of these sharpening stones. And you just turn it on, and with some, I use some water, I don't know if it makes any difference, but you can sharpen it like this, and you have it on, and then flip it over and do the other side, and it'll be nice and sharp. I saw him cutting through like leather or something with it. Oh, it was a tire, actually, a rubber tire. They were cutting through the sidewall, and it worked really good. I was like, hey, that's a really good idea. So I'm going to give that a shot. Really soaks in there. Okay. So, not too bad. Pretty decent. I don't know if you can see it, but it did a good job. Be good for scraping and cutting and stuff. I bet you wouldn't have any problem cutting through metal. I mean, leather or rubber. It worked pretty well.